Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a sports betting perspective, with pro handicappers Alex B. Smith and veteran sports writer Jimmy Murphy. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Sunday, December 12th, a Grey Cup in Hamilton Sunday. And I am fired up, going to the game, cheering on the Ticats. Oski wee wee, Oski wah wah, holy Mackinaw, Tigers, eat 'em raw. That's what it's all about. It's a great day to win a Grey Cup, and I feel it in my bones that the Hamilton Ticats will break their 22-year drought, bring the Grey Cup back to Hamilton. Can't wait to be there for the Winnipeg-Hamilton Grey Cup later today. Tim Hortons Field here in Hamilton. Excited for that. But before I get there, we have some business to take care of. We're going to do a abbreviated edition of the Ice Guys with just me on the show today and go through these 5 Sunday NHL games on the card. Let's get it started. Anaheim Ducks, St. Louis Blues. We've got St. Louis minus 135, home favorites, 5.5 the total. In this game. Just a reminder that Alex B. Smith on yesterday's show mentioned that he liked St. Louis in this spot. It's Anaheim at the tail end of this pretty long road trip that they have been on. He gave some pretty good numbers to the fact that these West Coast teams wrapping up a trip in the East have not done well in the final game of these trips. So keep that in mind. And of course, for Anaheim, they have gone 2-2 or 2-3 in their last 5 games. So far on this trip, you know, they've won a couple and they've lost a couple by a single goal. So they're really that close to being 4-0. I mean, the 2 losses were a 1-0 shutout loss to Pittsburgh last night. And of course, a 4-3 shootout loss at the beginning of this road trip to the Washington Capitals. So it's really actually been a decent trip to this point for the Anaheim Ducks. But unfortunately, last night, they lose goaltender John Gibson in the second period to injury. He's now day-to-day. Dallas Eakins has already said that there's no way Gibson's going to play in this game, which you pretty much expected, and he's probably going to miss at least a few games. So that means it'll be Anthony Stolarz, who came in to the game last night against Pittsburgh, finished it off, and actually didn't allow a goal after he came into the game. It'll be Stolarz in net this afternoon, I should say, for the actually it is tonight for the Anaheim Ducks in this one. So it's back-to-back for them. It's also back-to-back for St. Louis, but no travel. They were at home against Montreal last night. A 4-1 win. I cashed a ticket with St. Louis team total, over 3.5. I mentioned that on the show yesterday. That's what St. Louis has been doing. I mean, they've been scoring goals in bunches. I mean, you look at the recent results for the Blues. They have actually scored a minimum of 4 goals, the St. Louis Blues, in 5 of the last 7 games. So it's been pretty impressive to see the goal scoring that we have gotten from this team. Unfortunately for the Blues, big key injury up front suffered in the game last night against the Montreal Canadiens as Jordan Kyrou. They were concerned about him and that fact that he got a little bit banged up toward the end of that game. Craig Berube didn't have an update on whether he was going to miss this game or whether he was going to be out for a period of time. But Jordan Kyrou's had an outstanding season for the St. Louis Blues. And they've also had to deal with some COVID protocol situations. I mean, that's been the impressive thing about St. Louis. They've been winning games and they've been finding ways to score without some key personnel in the lineup. You look at who St. Louis has been playing without for the last little bit. You know, Justin Falk on the blue line's been out. Robert Thomas has been out. David Perron's been out now for a bit. Tyler Bozak as well, although there's a chance that apparently Bozak could be removed from COVID protocol in time for this game here. So we might get Bozak returning. But other guys have stepped up, and Pavel Buchnevich has been red hot lately for the St. Louis Blues, showing why they got him from the New York Rangers. He has scored now a goal in 4 of the last 7 games for the St. Louis Blues. He's getting 3, 4, 5 shots on goal pretty much on a nightly basis. So Buchnevich goal scorer prop certainly makes sense to me in this game. I'm going to go right back to the well with the same bet I made yesterday with St. Louis, and that's their team total, over 3.5. You can get, plus 130 to plus 140, the price for that, which is a terrific price. This team, like I said, has scored 4 goals or more in 5 of their last 7 games. They catch Anaheim at the tail end of a road trip. Usually that's a fatigue spot. And when you're fatigued and you're tired and you're worn out and you're a little bit jet lagged, and of course they're on the second of back-to-back on the road after being in Pittsburgh last night, you often make mistakes with the puck. You make turnovers increase, sloppy play increases, and you give the other team more scoring chances and opportunities to fire the puck at your own net. So I think it sets up well here for the Blues. Alex certainly likes the St. Louis side. I wouldn't argue with minus 135, but I think the St. Louis team total over 3.5. I'll go with that here. Also lean to the full game over 5.5. I actually will bet the full game over as well. 5.5 minus 120. It looks like we might get John Gillies in net for the St. Louis Blues. And if you remember, John Gillies is a guy that's actually played in the NHL. He's made a few starts with the Calgary Flames organization a few years ago, 2017. It was a long time ago. It was 4 years ago, but he did make 11 starts, or 11 appearances, I should say, in net for the Calgary Flames back in 2017, 2.88 goals against average. John Gillies has largely been an AHL goalie the last few years, but in this year, he's done pretty well. 3-0, 1.67 goals against average, 948 save percentage in the AHL. So good numbers down there. Pretty good chance you'll see him in net tonight because Charlie Lindgren got the start last night. And of course, both Ville Husso and Jordan Binnington for the Blues remain on IR, and they're not available right now. So it's either Lindgren on a back-to-back or it's going to be John Gillies in net. And I think Berube's probably going to give John Gillies the net tonight in this game. But I still like St. Louis team total over 3.5 and full game over 5.5 minus 120 here. Nashville Predators, New York Rangers. We've got the Rangers minus 140, home favorites here, 5.5 the total in this game. I like the Rangers here. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. We're just going to go minus 140. If you want a little more value, you can go Rangers in regulation, get it close to even money. I wouldn't argue with that. The Rangers with a 2-1 win against Buffalo after getting thrashed, I should say, by Colorado 7-3 the night before. Nashville's won 4 in a row. Give them credit, but let's look at the competition just for a second. Montreal, Detroit, struggling Islanders team, Devils, not exactly a murderer's row in these last 4 victories for Nashville. You look at the losses, Vegas, Colorado, Boston. Those are the teams they've lost. The better teams. The bottom line is Nashville's beating the bad teams. They're beating the mediocre teams. They're not necessarily beating the good teams. Well, they got a good team tonight, a very good team in the New York Rangers tonight. And look, I've been impressed with Georgiev in net. And keep in mind, too, Nashville with some injuries here, especially in the center ice position, could be shorthanded down the middle. And you don't want to ever have cluster injuries at the center ice position. That really can do some damage to your team and their ability to perform at a high level. Colton Sissons is questionable with an upper body injury. And of course, the big one's Matt Duchene. He didn't play in the New Jersey game on Friday night. Upper body injury, may not return here tonight either. And he has had a very good bounce back season offensively for the Predators. 13 goals, 12 assists, 25 points in 26 games. He's been almost a point per game producer this year for the Nashville Predators. So if they don't have him in the lineup, that hurts a little bit. So I lean to the Rangers here. Minus 140 is right around the price you can get with them right now. Like I say, Nashville has not really beaten the better teams on their schedule lately. A lot of the wins have come against the more mediocre to below average hockey teams. And I think they'll probably struggle with this step up in class. Hopefully it's the good Georgiev in net today, in net tonight for the Rangers. And if it is, probably a good chance he can lead them to a victory here. So Rangers minus 140 for me in this one. All right, Florida, Colorado. Colorado minus 155, home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. This really does feel like now the 1.5s are almost gone. So I did like the first period over in this game as well, but now you're seeing at some books minus 140, minus 165 even, to take over 1.5 in the first period in this game. And now the 2s are even starting to show up in terms of the first period total in this game. And you can see why. I mean, this Avalanche team is a offensive freight train at the moment. Just unbelievable, the goals that they are putting up in recent games. They've gone 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. And you look at the goals they have put up in the last 10 games. They had one game against Dallas. In Dallas, they lost 3-1. Outside of that, They've scored 7, 5, 6, 3, 4, 6, 7, 7, 7. 3 consecutive games with 7 goals this week for the Colorado Avalanche. They put up a touchdown against Philly, a touchdown against the New York Rangers. Fitting, they put up touchdowns on Grey Cup Sunday and NFL Sunday for that matter. And a 7 spot again against the Detroit Red Wings on Friday night. So this team is just beyond sick right now at the offensive end of the ice. I mean, scoring despite players in and out due to injuries. McKinnon missed time. Makar was out for some time. Nazem Kadri, was out 2 games this week with a lower body injury. And Gabriel Landeskog left the game Friday night with a lower body injury. So keep an eye on his status. Maybe he is questionable to play tonight in this game. We'll have to see closer to puck drop. But, man, I mean, they've had guys in and out. They've lost players to injury. And yet they just keep on scoring. And I don't know if that's going to change here tonight against Florida, the Florida Panthers. Like I said about Florida lately, their defensive game has dropped off just a bit. They've gone 4-1 to the over their last 5 games. And you look at the goals they've allowed: 4 to Washington, 4 to Buffalo, 3 to St. Louis, 4 to St. Louis. Last game was better, but you played lowly Arizona, and yeah, you held them to 1 goal. Big deal. We're the worst team in the NHL. So it's going to be much tougher here against this Colorado team. I'm going to stick to Alex Newhook, goal scorer prop for me. I'm going to keep riding that. He's been definitely a guy that's been very, very prolific lately, and certainly very, very present offensively for the Colorado Avalanche lately. It's going to be interesting to see how if Florida gets Barkov back and Anthony Duclair back. They both missed the game the other night against Arizona. They were late scratches, too. A lot of people didn't expect them to be missing that game. But all of a sudden it was announced, pre-game that Barkov's out, and so is Anthony Duclair for the Florida Panthers. So we'll see if both of them come back. That could hurt Florida's offense a little bit. But even when Barkov was out, Florida was still pretty good at the offensive end of the ice. And, the good teams like a Florida, like a Colorado, why they're good teams and why offensively they're good. It's because when they've had guys out, they've kept on going, and they've still found ways to score goals. Why is that? Because of depth, because other guys step up. Simple as that. And we've seen evidence of that from both of these teams this year when they've had key players out of the lineup. So I still like over the total here, 6.5. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Colorado's scoring 7 goals on their own, all right, in the last 3 games. So, it's going to tail off eventually. They're not going to do that every game, but I'm not asking for 7-4 here or 7-5. Give me a 4-3 game and we get the over. And I think we can get that with these 2 teams right now, with both of these teams, the way they're putting the puck in the net at the moment. So Florida, Colorado, over 6.5 for me in this game. All right, Minnesota, Vegas. We've got Vegas minus 150, home favorites here, 5.5, 6 the total in this game. Back-to-back situation for the Minnesota Wild. And finally, the team does not get to 4 goals. Not only do they not get to 4 goals, they only score 1, and they lose to the LA Kings 2-1 last night. Maybe a little bit of a flat spot, maybe a little bit of a look-ahead spot, just maybe. I mean, they'll never admit it, Minnesota, but, that's the first loss they've had in 8 games. It snapped their 8-game win streak. This is a big game now with Vegas. I mean, these teams have playoff history against one another. I think they got a little bit of a budding rivalry going. And so I think you would expect Minnesota to be a whole lot better here in this game tonight against the Golden Knights. Unfortunately, man, I was tempted to take Minnesota here, bounce back, but second night of back-to-backs, and certainly Vegas not going to be in a good mood here after losing to Philadelphia in their last game, 4-3, a home loss to the Flyers. You look at this Vegas team. Here's another team that, do you have some concerns about them a little bit defensively? They gave up 6 to Anaheim in a loss. They gave up 4 to Dallas, 5-4. They had to come back to win that game. They gave up 4 goals to Philly in a struggling Flyers team in a loss the other night. You become concerned about that. I like over 5.5 here. You can find some books that have 5.5, including DraftKings, our great partners here, THPN, the Ice Guys. Take advantage. If you like the over in this game, get the 5.5. It's currently out there at DraftKings. And I think we can get 6 here. And I'm always liking the Wild when they have a game where they get shut down, offensively. It's been rare that that's happened 2 games in a row this year to this hockey team. And like I say, Ryan Hartman and Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson, Matt Zuccarello, it's been impressive to see different guys stepping up every night for this team. Kevin Fiala, Go on down. Jordan Greenway had a 2-goal game the other night. So Minnesota's gotten a lot of great contribution. We know Vegas is certainly back to being a threat offensively now that they got a healthy lineup again with, Pacioretty, Stone, Carlson. Everybody's back now for Vegas. And we've seen them now score, 5, 7, 3, 5, and 3 goals in their last 5 games. So 5.5 for two very capable offensive teams, two teams that are scoring goals at the moment, and you can get a 5.5 in a game like this. Definitely take advantage of it is what I say. So Minnesota, Vegas, over 5.5 for me in this game. Carolina, Vancouver, final game of this Sunday card. Carolina minus 110 to minus 115 road favorites, 5.5 the total in this one. Not a great Carolina spot. Now, Carolina is not easy to go against. They've had a phenomenal road trip so far. No doubt about that. It's been great. They beat Winnipeg. They beat Calgary in overtime. And then a very, very sturdy, sound, structured, just nice, workmanlike, solid game, rock solid against Edmonton last night, 3-1, which was unfortunate for me because the best bet falls short on the over for me on yesterday's show in that Carolina-Edmonton game. But props to the Hurricanes. I mean, great road game. They didn't give the Oilers a whole lot, held them to 23 shots on goal. Very difficult, even though Edmonton is slumping offensively right now, to hold them to 23 shots, just 1 goal. A very impressive road win for Carolina. But it is now back-to-back for them here as they go to Vancouver. And they have had a miserable time in Vancouver. 1-11 in the last 12 visits to Vancouver for the Carolina Hurricanes. So this has definitely been a little bit of a house of horrors for them as of in recent years. They are one of those teams, though, that does have a terrific long-term record on the second of back-to-back games. They are 28-8 in their last 36 games on the second night of back-to-back games for Carolina. All that being said, I'm taking Vancouver. You know it. Come on, you know it. I've been on Vancouver every game since Bruce Boudreau has taken over. They've certainly got the rest advantage. They've been at home all week. LA, Boston, Winnipeg, 3 consecutive wins in the Bruce Boudreau era. They've got the rest advantage. Edmonton or Carolina's been traveling to Winnipeg, then to Calgary, then to Edmonton, now to Vancouver on the second night of back-to-backs. This is where you could see Carolina maybe have a little bit of a lackluster game. And if they do, Vancouver's playing with renewed energy, renewed enthusiasm since the coaching change. I think their defensive game's been a lot better for the most part in these 3 games. And certainly, Brock Besser has benefited from the new head coach, Bruce Boudreau, giving him the confidence. They shoot the puck more, and you're starting to see Vancouver. And Niels Höglander had a great game against Winnipeg the other night. Connor Garland has really played well in the few games under Bruce Boudreau as well for the Canucks. They're just playing with a new level of spirit. Again, when I decided right at the beginning, when the coach gets fired, I'm going to hitch my wagon to a team and I say, I'm going to bet on this team coming out of the coaching change. And if they keep winning, I'm just going to keep riding them. Then I'm going to stick to my word. That's exactly what I'm going to keep on doing here with the Vancouver Canucks. For me, this is a bet on them until they lose team for me right now. Then when they lose a game, we'll jump off the train. Probably will not keep riding them every game. But until we see that loss, I'm going to keep going to the well with Vancouver here. So for me, it'll be Vancouver plus 105, plus 100, right around even money here in this game against the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, they've definitely got the schedule in their favor. They're rested. They're at home. No travel since playing Winnipeg Friday night. And you got Carolina rolling into town here, second night of back-to-back games after playing in Edmonton last night. So for me, I'm going to go Vancouver plus 100, plus 105 in that range in this game between the Canes and the Canucks. All right, before we get to my best bet to wrap up this abbreviated Sunday edition of the Ice Guys, reminder about DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You'll be a winner once a single point is scored. New customers who bet just $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. It's that simple. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state, don't worry. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet $1 on any team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code THPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and NHL. Must be 21 years of age or older, must reside in a DraftKings Sportsbook state. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings app now. Sign up for an account and use the promo code THPN. All right, best bet now for this Sunday NHL card. Let's see what we'll go with in this Sunday card. Let's go with, I'm going back and forth here. Let me just check a couple of things because I know I want to confirm a couple of trends here in these couple of games that I'm interested in here. Let me see. Hold on here. There we go. We'll make a decision. Let's do Florida, Colorado. Let's do that one. It was either going to be that or the Minnesota Vegas over. One of those overs. I'm going to go Florida, Colorado. Over 6.5 for my best bet for this Sunday NHL card. You look at it, 4 of the last 5 meetings have gone over the total. Each of the last 2 in Colorado have gone over the total. Both of them identical 4-3 final scores. Like I said earlier, that'll get the job done for an over tonight between these two teams. So Florida, Colorado, over 6.5. That'll be my best bet for this Sunday NHL card. That'll wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys. Thanks to everybody for watching. We appreciate all of you tuning in live on YouTube and downloading the podcast. Hit the like button. Make sure you do that for the YouTube video. It helps us out. And a reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. Enjoy the NHL. Enjoy the NFL. Enjoy the CFL Grey Cup, especially if you're going to cheer for my Hamilton Ticats like I will be doing this later tonight at Tim Hortons Field. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll be back with you tomorrow on Monday for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.